Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Aquarius. So Aquarius, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Aquarius, let's talk about having a deja vu, having an experience, a sight, a vision, a situation, a person, especially a person, that you are sure that you have experienced that before. It's very familiar because everything in you, despite the appearances being somewhat different, there is something in you, in your heart, in your core, that tells you that you know this, that you have lived through this, that this is not the first time that this is happening. So there is a little bit of an initial shock of, but why am I living through this again? Why this feels so familiar? I don't understand. There is a bit of a confusion. There is great feeling of knowingness and feeling embraced, feeling it's not a situation that is a bad deja vu. It's nothing like that. It's very welcoming and warming and just it's loving. But it's strange. It is strange because it's almost like really bugging your mind to the point that you might be thinking, but yes, that was amazing, but I already did that. I already lived that. So why is this going on again? Why is this one showing up again? I thought I had learned, or I thought that, that ended at some point. But I don't feel like you can connect to when you do remember them. That's the weird part. It's almost like, thinking simply, or, the only alternative that is coming to my mind that could be the case for you, Aquarius, is as if this situation is not necessarily being remembered from this lifetime, because your memories seem to be very at the same time very confusing, but at the same time very sharp, because it's taking you back to the certainty that you have lived through this, but you can't pinpoint where you know them from, or where this happened, what exactly you it's like you don't know how you know what I mean? So we're beginning with the Emperor. The Emperor was coming through with the message coming full circle, but immediately when I heard that, the question that came to my mind is it really coming full circle? What is coming full circle? It's like, because you see here how there is a little bit of a gap at the very end. So from the outside looking in, especially from afar, it feels like a complete circle. But when you start zooming in, it's almost like, but it really hasn't finished, or it really hasn't completed. So what is really coming full circle? Is it really coming full circle? I feel like there is a little bit of skepticism, or just suspicion on your part, Aquarius, about what is coming to an end, because it's almost like, but I have experienced that ending. We're going to see that later on. But it's almost like you have already answered that to yourself, or at least you have already questioned that to yourself. The Six of Cups coming next, this is where the strange familiarity, the uncanny, similar things that trigger this deja vu moment in you is coming from the Six of Cups. Because this card to me brings memories, especially with the moon, which is also here. So there are strange memories coming to you that it's like they have never been triggered before, but for some reason now they are, because something is coming full circle. But is it really? is it really coming full circle? I feel like there's still a gap, and the gap is weirdly coming through another at the very end. But it could be just a situation being presented or being brought forth from uh, through another person. So there is this deja vu moment of, I have been here, I know this, I have lived this, I feel like this is very, very familiar. Even the questioning that comes with it. So this is where I feel like you're trying to see exactly where the glitch is, because it's like, it's almost like if you've seen this before, if you have experienced this full circle situation before, it's almost like now you're more attentive, like now you're just paying more attention and you're looking closer to it, because it's like something in you is bringing this analytical mind to the foreground with the Queen of Swords. So what the beautiful thing is about this Queen of Swords is that apart from the major arcana cards, we only have Cups card, although yes, this is the Swords, but you see here how we have the crown of the Queen, which seems to me to be like a bigger heart. So it's like this fulfilled heart, but it's a heart that is aligned with the mind because of the arrow, because of, you know, the sword suit that represents the mind. So there's something about you, Aquarius, showing up in your power, because the air is your element. So in your power, but aligned with the truth of your heart. So you're not denying what you're feeling. You're not shutting down your emotions or your memories. Actually, you are going into the memory. It's like you're investigating the memory. You want to go to the core of this past memory or something like that, that is wanting to zoom in to this completion, to this moment of things coming together or coming full circle. Because, well, there's also something else here. Sometimes I see this as, you know, the completion of a long journey, but one that you could have taken, you know, one side or the other. And it seems to me like now you have completed both sides. So it's maybe that's the reason why it is coming full circle, because it's like now it's the second time around or the third time around or however many times you have done this. So it feels very familiar. But with the death door coming after it, it's like this is completely familiar, because it's now tying back to the Capricorn reading yesterday that, you know, started with this card. And this for Capricorn yesterday was long gone. It's like in this, you know, this ancient history, or this it's like this past. It's something that is far behind. For you, it seems to be right in front of your face. Whatever this is that is triggering this full circle moment, this strangely familiar, this uncanny memory that somehow you know that you have experienced, you have investigated. It's like you have looked into it. It's like you're not ignoring the memory. You are choosing to look into it. It's like to align your mind and your heart so that what you're feeling makes sense to you. And right now it's not making sense, because it's like, but if it is coming full circle, then why am I here again? Why is this, you know, because right now this death door is just talking about, you know, another challenge, to be honest. It's like, you know, another death and rebirth process, another, you know, as it was coming up in the Capricorn reading, especially in the extended, doing again another chapter in your shadow work, self knowledge, self discovery process. But it's almost like you don't understand this. This doesn't make sense to you. If it was to be, you know, rationalized, it really doesn't make sense, because you're pretty sure that you have learned, that you have achieved like this highest, you know, being the emperor. It's like the highest position. It's like you have ascended in a way. So you don't understand why this is happening again. And now it's just reminding me of something that happened yesterday, actually, with me. Yeah, and it's just triggering because it's a situation that is recurring. And, you know, I took the steps to mend, to, you know, repair and take care of this. The thing that, you know, just crashed, my computer crashed. And I don't understand why it's happening again. I really don't understand. So I feel like it's something similar to you. It's like, why do I have to go through this again? I have felt in my heart that this has been completed, and it's again, it's like I already did this. It's something like that. You already did it, and you know it in your heart, but in your mind, you know that you already did it. So why is this here again? Because the guidance seems to be, it's coming full circle, but it's almost like it's like tripling the upgrade or something like that. So here is where it gets really trippy and weird, because it's almost like entering a dream. It's almost like things from now on are not just going to feel completely familiar and welcoming and loving and embracing, because here there is a little bit of resistance because of the sharp mind that you are approaching this with. You're not ignoring, again, the emotional side. The emotions are all coming up, but now the part of this equation that is also integrated with the emotion is the mind, is, you know, the logic, or the, at least the how sensible you are. It's like sensibility and sensitivity. Well, maybe that's the same thing, but, you know, being sensible and being sensitive at the same time. You see the difference? Because this is what this Queen of Swords is doing. This is what you are doing, Aquarius, when this is presented to you. So it feels like you've known this door, because it's almost like I'm seeing this door at the very end here. But because you are looking closer, it's like there are things that are so familiar, because you know this, you have been there. And what comes after the Death card is the Lovers. So this is emphasizing to me, Aquarius, the fact that yes, you have seen this, but I want to say from another perspective, because it's almost like you have done this from, you know, one heart's perspective, and now it's the time for you to see it from the other side. So yes, the point leads to the same place, right? The journey leads to the same conclusion, to the same merging point in the center. So that's the reason why I feel like this is very uncanny. It's like it is, you're pretty sure that you have been here, but you have approached it, I want to say, from the other side. So that's the strange feeling that you have, because you know this, but now you're seeing it from another perspective. So it's very trippy, I want to say, because, you know, sometimes, and especially recently, this card came through. I can't remember if it was in the Capricorn reading or if it was in the Sagittarius reading, but this was talking about merging two hearts. So sometimes I see the two hearts going apart from one another, and sometimes I see them, you know, going toward each other. And in this last reading that the Lovers showed up, it was, you know, moving towards each other, and it was talking about merging to become one. But here, I feel like you have done that from one side, meaning your human heart merging with your higher self's heart, because this is what this represents to me. And I feel like this is almost the opposite, because you start here from this highest level of understanding. You are very sharp. You are already very aligned. It's like, you know that you have done this shadow work. You know that you have done this investigation. You know that you have been upgraded. But it's almost like, so now it's interesting, because now it's really going back actually to the way that I was seeing the last card here. That was, it was almost like there is somebody that is coming to your rescue, but now I'm seeing it on the flip side. It's like, now I feel like you are going back to rescue somebody that has been going through this self-discovery process, but we're going to get there. Because here, it's like you're seeing this door from the other side. You have crossed it. Yes, you have concluded this. This is not new for you. You have been here. But you have been here coming from the other side, from the death into the rebirth. And I feel like it's almost like what you're doing now, it's like you're going from the rebirth onto the death for some reason. And it's not literal, I don't think, but it's very symbolic, because you know how it is to be on the other side, to be on the human side of the equation and not yet be connected to the higher self's heart or wisdom or mind. So here it feels like you are grounded already in this, and that's the reason why you're able to even go back to it. And I feel like that's why this is happening as this deja vu memory or experience, because now you have, with the Four of Cups coming next, you have a stable foundation based on this path that you have traveled before. So that's the reason why this memory perhaps is very fresh, because, you know, you've been here and maybe not long ago, but you know that this is far behind you. So you don't understand. It's almost like going in circles. It's like coming full circle, because it's almost like here, maybe there was this death door, right? And then you were going or maybe you even started here, right? You crossed this door and then you came walking all the way here, and now you're back to the same place. But I want to emphasize something that I often say in my astrological readings for my clients. You know, the birth chart is, you know, a 2D circle, like a representation in 2D of a circle. But if we think about that as a spiral, right? Like imagine a staircase that is in this spiral shape. It's like you're really going back to the same place, but you are one, it's like you're one story high. You have been upgraded. You have leveled up. Yes, you are going to the same point, but in a sense, you bring things from the past and now you're seeing it from the opposite angle. You're seeing it from the other side. You're not approaching the door from the same side that you entered before, although it seems very similar. There are odd things that feel very, very similar. But because you have done that, now you're not approaching it with this Six of Cups nostalgic feeling, for an instance, or, you know, as an example. But now that this, it's like the closer you get to this door, the closer you look, the more you'll understand in which side of the equation you're on. It's like you're so aligned, you're so coherent, you're so stable with your emotions, but also with your mind. It's like they're not in disagreement, or they're not fighting each other. They're so integrated that you have a really good, stable, grounded basis for your emotional stability, that you can confront this, that you can go through this. It's almost like you're saying to yourself, okay, yeah, here we go again. If this is what it has to be, here we go again, right? Because you have, I want to say, maybe the maturity and the wisdom that you have acquired before. So it's like, you know this. With a moon card coming next, Aquarius, everything in you feels more familiar than familiar. It's like, it's more of what I was just saying. It's like, you know, because the cards here are so emphasizing the heart, are so wanting to direct you to the heart. The moon is just talking about this being very part of something that that you feel inside your heart, that is very familiar, that is triggering a memory, that you are very sure that you know that you feel that you have felt that. So it's like the moon, it's just putting it on another level. It's just really everything that you were already seeing, that you were already sensing, that, you know, you had this certainty in you. It's like the universe is saying, yes, that is true. That is true. What you're feeling is true. This deja vu moment is happening. This is not something from your imagination. You are truly going through that. You are truly recognizing something that you have experienced. So it's like the moon is, it's actually wanting to give you reassurance to your certainty. It's like you are pretty sure, but it's already, it's like it's doubling the certainty, if that makes sense. And I feel like it has to do with something that you recognize because of who you're going to find there, who you're going to cross paths with when you're here. I don't feel like you have crossed paths with this one specifically the first time that you have been through this. I'm not, you know, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't feel like. I feel like this is somebody that has never been so close to this door. For you, it's almost like, okay, here we go again, a second time around or a third time around. Because I feel like, you, again, it's like you have been doing this, you know, you have been upgrading in a sense in this spiral loop or this spiral staircase that gives you a perception that you're doing it again, but from another perspective, right? It's like you are seeing it from this other angle. So it's like you're so integrated with your higher self, with your higher wisdom, with the higher vision, that this one, which is coming as the King of Cups, which, to be honest, it came through as somebody that has just recently matured emotionally. It's very fresh that they have been given this crown of the king. And I feel like because you're coming through here as the emperor, it's almost, you know, the emperor is all of the kings together. So you have, again, that's the reason why I'm saying you have been through this door of the death and rebirth maybe a few times. That's why it's going to feel very familiar. It's going to feel like a deja vu. But the difference about this time and, you know, the other times is that you are approaching it with a lot of maturity, and whomever you are finding there on the other side, ready to make this leap, ready to make this crossing, is somebody who has been just recently, you know, maybe working with their emotions, maybe going through their first shadow work experience. So it's like it's very fresh. This crown is very fresh in them. This perception of being perhaps, you know, emotionally connected with their feelings, with who they are, is very fresh. And so the moon is coming to reassure to you that yes, this is happening again another time for a specific reason, so that you can assist and reassure this one. You see what I mean? You have reassurance from the universe because you are going to serve as this mother figure who is going to embrace the one who is just coming to this maturity, this emotional maturity. So it's interesting because first I was seeing this King of Cups as the other way around. It's like they are going to do this for you, but really I feel like it's you that is going to do this for them because you've done this a few times, right? So Aquarius, this is very intriguing and strange and odd reading. I truly hope that this was helpful. I am going to pull more cards for you as well as the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.